I am a self-sufficient RuneScape player. One of, if not the first, to have created a self-sufficiency goals and achievements thread. My goals, alongside with playing self-sufficiently, are to maximize profit from all 99s or 120s and to obtain all the best gear. I am Metomaniac9 and this is my progress series. Hey dear viewer, welcome to the post-Araxxi era, and what am I going to do now? Well, I'm going to have some fun and hang out with Mr Pointy-on-a-stick. And what better way to do that than with Soul Reaper? See, I've been fighting Araxxi for way too long and I want to try out some different bosses. And of course try out my Scythe on a whole variety of bosses. My current Slayer task happens to be Kree'arra though, so that kinda sucks. I mean, Mr Pointy-on-a-stick is good, but he's not that good. Besides Soul Reaper, I also want to get that hard Tirannwn set out of the way. It's been unfinished for way too long, and I want to get that done before the Wilderness task set comes around. And I definitely want to get that done before I start with crafting, my next main goal. So far, Mr Pointy-on-a-stick still hasn't tasted blood. It's about time that changes. So let's introduce him to the world of pain. I actually thought about Araxxi being its first victim, you know, to kinda smite her for letting me wait that long. Just think about it, rending her to shreds with her own fang, wouldn't that be the ultimate vengeance? Then again, can you rend something to shreds that has an exoskeleton? Well, of course you can, this is RuneScape. But honestly, I've seen too much of Araxxi lately, so I decided something completely different. I think it would be best to hold Mr Pointy-on-a-stick's battle initiation at the most sacred place for Scythe users. And that is of course the Twin Furies. Me and Mr Pointy-on-a-stick had quite a rough start there. You know, after using mostly magic for most of the time in the past months, I really wasn't used to melee anymore. And yeah, there are some differences between the two. But after being dragged around from one wall to the next, time and time again, I really started to get a hang of it. Now I barely get dragged anymore and I decimate them both almost within the first rotation. That the Twin Furies were the best location to take Mr Pointy-on-a-stick for the very first time, that appeared to be a great decision because I got the Dormant anima core legs. Mr Pointy-on-a-stick, with this drop you have proven your worth in the eyes of the divine Iron Goat, the one who brought you into existence. With success, you have completed the initiation ritual. I pronounce you battle ready. May you aid me with many gains. Fletcher's headware. That's now my 5th item of the Fletcher's outfit. And of course, now my set is complete. I don't really know when exactly that I'm going to use this. The only times I gain Fletching XP nowadays is when I'm making scrimshaws. Or bolts. But I don't use my Ascensions that much anyway. I am planning to do a bit of Soul Reaper, so the chance of me using them are now bigger. And don't forget, I have a Kree'arra task, so I'll definitely be using Ascensions there. Now let's train some Runecrafting. And you may ask me, but MM9, we're in your port, there's no altar there. What rune could you possibly make there? Well, Sea Singers, dear viewer. And no, not Sea Singers runes. Maybe it would be cool to have those. Maybe they could make that when they release the Underwater City, together with the Sea Singers spellbook. But yeah, I'm getting ahead of myself now. Of course what I'm doing here is make Sea Singers ropes, because I almost reached the chi cap. From all that chi I can make 3 Sea Singers ropes, which in turn gives me 103k Runecrafting XP. Also a nice little detail is the next time that I'm doing this, I will be 93 Runecrafting. When that happens, I'll probably have gained an entire level just from making Sea Singers ropes. And how much time did I spend on gathering those chi? Well, probably less than an hour. So eat that, Runespan. This is the best XP. Plus, it makes me money too. I almost get 9 mil from it. Well, that's what the price checker says. The real price could be even higher, who knows. But it's guaranteed to be way more than you could make at Runespan. Although I could have made more money if I gained XP from crafting runes themselves. And not in the Abyss. Now that that has double XP, I don't want to go there anymore. Man, I almost forgot that I still have a worldbearer ring in my bank. And yeah, exactly, another one! They're coming quite fast nowadays. I really have a feeling that the exiled Guraho is sending me some kind of message. But let's not open that can of strike worms. If only that porch chest was as generous as the exiled Guraho. But no, again, just a medium lamp. This time it is of construction though. Thankfully I don't have to act like the monstrous lamp destroyer this time. So no XP waste, people, don't be afraid. This lamp gives me 25k construction XP, and I guess that's all peaches and gravy. If that is a saying, well, I thought it was. And if it isn't a saying, we can make it one. Here it is, my first Soul Reaper assignment, Kree'arra. So far I haven't gotten a good drop yet, and that's maybe because Mr Pointy-on-a-stick isn't here. I have to make do with my Ascension crossbows. Somehow they don't protect me from the minions anymore either. I guess that must have changed. Ah well, at least I got my Shard of Zaros. Also, while gaining kill count, I got a hard clue scroll, so hopefully there's a good reward in there. Anyway, that takes care of task 247, and it rewards me with 15 Reaper points, and some Slayer XP, which I don't really care too much about, honestly. Just because I completed my Reaper task right now, doesn't mean I'll just leave. I mean, why waste a perfectly good yak, am I right? If I get anything good in the remaining time, I'll definitely show you guys. But if you don't see a clip of Kree'arra anymore, well, that means I didn't have RNG on my side. And I won't be price checking the loot either, because it's God Wars Dungeon 1, you know. No one really cares about 200k loot an hour anymore. Not in these days. Yeah guys, from Kree'arra I didn't really get anything good anymore, but there's always a chance with that clue. Even though it didn't come from Kree'arra, I still consider it to be a part of my Kree'arra trip. So let's see if there's some form of hidden RNG at work here. A 129k reward with an enchanted hat. That is not bad at all. More than I expected anyway. But it could be better, of course. And I know my enchanted set is complete already. So let's spin that wheel and let's reroll. Alright, winner winner chicken dinner. It went way up to 445k. And why? Because of that Saradomin full helm. Isn't it awesome to get a hard clue in Armadill's Eyrie just to find a Saradomin full helm at the end of the clue? Things like that are pretty awesome in my opinion. If it was Bando's full helm, I'd cry though. RIP Bandos. Finally, a Reaper task that I can do together with Mr Pointy-on-a-stick, the Giant Mole. It was only like, what, 4 kills, so of course I'm going to do that in hard mode. Usually I would take magic here, but, well, like I said, I want to do Slayer with Mr Pointy. The one on a stick, I mean. And like this, it's much easier to dispose of those mole minions. You know, not the babies, but the ordinary moles. The ones that improve the giant mole's defense. That makes both that phase and the final phase go much faster. It's just basically a hurricane and then slaughter. That easily takes care of that phase. Of course, in the final phase there's a whole lot more bullshit involved. First you gotta wait for the moles to come at you, and then you can use Hurricane to kill them all. But before you can use Slaughter and finish the giant mole off, he will basically stun you and throw his dung at you just like he's a monkey. That basically ruins your entire day. Well, it's not that drastic, but yeah, it's annoying nonetheless. Anyway, that takes care of 9 Reaper points, and what did I get from him? Well, nothing. What a surprise, eh? Who would have thought that the giant mole would drop me nothing special? Okay, the giant mole parts are useful, so I guess that's great. This Soul Reaper task is a nice warm-up for my next big goal. You know, 99 crafting. You may ask me, but MM9, how is the Kalphite Queen related to your 99 crafting goal? Well, dear viewer, this is a warm-up for killing queens. And I'll be killing lots of them. But I can tell you this, the first Queen Black Dragon I'll kill will be very much more rewarding than these 4 or 5 or how many I killed Kalphite Queens. But again, that's not really surprising. I did gain 12 Reaper points though, so that's something. I was just at the Skeletal Horror and he said... Sadly I wasn't wearing my Amulet of Skeleton Speak, because well, that basically doesn't exist. So I couldn't understand him. but my interpretation of it is, if you fight me good, I will most likely give you an elite clue scroll. If you fight me even better, I will give you a Skeleton Champions Challenge scroll. And it turns out that I just fought him good. That's basically the clue you're seeing me do right now. The reward isn't all that good either. Just 175k, and on top of that I get biscuits. 23 of them. It looks like we haven't seen the last of those either, because right now I have 182 in total. So I'm guessing, based on this reward, that the next time I get biscuits will be the last time. Of course I hope that I'll never have to see biscuits again. Contrary to the Skeletal Horror, Bork is understandable. And what did he say? Well, nothing, because I immediately bashed in his skull. Just like Armadillo did to Bandos. Rip Bandos. But yeah, he dropped me a hard clue scroll, and that's what I'm doing right now. And I get some black dragon hides. No, I'm not exactly against getting dragon hides, but I prefer the royal type. And I also get some green firelighters. Yeah, what can I do with them? I could alg them and waste precious nature runes. So I'm definitely not going to do that. I could drop them, but where's the fun in that? Well, I guess I'm going to have to use them once, maybe on a special occasion. And well, they're green. I don't really like green for a certain football reason. The clue that you're seeing right now is surprisingly readable. I mean, it's coming from my aquarium. Surely the ink must have washed away from all that water. Well, let's just call it magical ink, I guess. I mean, it is RuneScape. Now for the reward, and it has a sub 200k value. Well, that's not good. But contrary to the previous clue, this time I do get Royal Dragon Hides. I do also have reroll though. And since I've had a couple of very lucky rerolls in the past, I'm definitely using this one here. The last value was barely sub 200. This one is barely over 100k. How much can a reroll suck? But I've seen many worse elite clues. Let's just keep it positive and say that those anti-fire potions will come in very handy. Very, very handy. Ain't that right, Queen Black Dragon? Also, a nice little detail about this elite clue. This is elite clue number 444, or 444. Trips, as they would call it on certain image boards. That, surprise surprise, also start with a 4. All those links, man. It's like the Illuminati is at work. Be right back, I'm getting my tinfoil hat. Hellwyr, another task I can do with Mr Pointy-on-a-stick. I actually rerolled this one from Hardhaken. I really didn't feel like doing the fight kiln. I haven't done it yet since it was updated, but I'm also not really interested in finding out how hard it is nowadays. Rerolling seemed to work out in my favor anyway, so that's good. I mean, I prefer Helwyr over Hardhaken any day. The Helwyr task basically takes less time, and in my opinion it has the ability to yield greater rewards as well. This is obviously also the first time that I fight Helwyr with my Scythe. Back in the day I did kill him a couple of times with my dual Drygores. And I do feel like it's a lot easier with Mr Pointy-on-a-stick. If I remember correctly, with dual Drygores I had to bank every 2, 3 or 4 kills. Or at least be really out of food. But not this time. I actually didn't have to bank once. After 5 kills I also have a significant amount of food left. To me that's another indication of how great the Scythe is here. I actually also want to try my Scythe against Gregorovich once. Cause there I'd always get raped. Well, it's up to death if I get a chance to fight Gregorovich or not. Because I don't really want to go there without getting a Reaper task. Anyway, killing Helwyr 5 times rewards me with 50 extra Reaper points. Because this is my 250th assignment. And did I also gain an additional 68 Reaper points? Or are the extra 50 Reaper points included in those 68 Reaper points? Yeah, that's not really clear. I really hope that I got 118 points from this. That would be really cool. But it sorta feels too good to be true. And when it comes to the drops, I wasn't really that lucky. Well, I guess the 19 uncut diamonds are pretty cool. They'll surely come in handy for when I need more signs of life. Now that I'm more or less done with Araxxi, I don't really need a lot of them though. But hey, death may make me go to Araxxi again. And I'll accept that. Oh, I'll accept that. And then I'll grind Mr. Pointy right into its skull. Well, I don't think arachnoids have skulls. So, exoskeleton I guess. Oh yeah, and as an extra piece of detail, I have 28 Hellwyr kill counts. So I think I did pretty good here, considering my lack of experience at this boss. Earlier this episode I got an item piece from a red gem and, well, now again. This time I get light boots. And right off the bat I had no idea at all what that was. The description says the footwear of lightness, but when I equip those boots my weight isn't reduced. So that's really weird. After doing some research, it appears to be just cosmetic. There is a light outfit and a dark outfit. They seem to be the equivalent of the Ice Warrior and the Fire Warrior outfits. So they are pretty cool I guess. Hopefully when you get the set you'll be able to use it as cosmetic too. Well, we'll have to find out. Not that I'll use it much personally, because let's be honest, my current outfit is just awesome, isn't it? Well, if it wasn't awesome, I wouldn't have keepsaked it. What do you think of my RuneScape fashion sense? Would that be worth showcasing if there was an E-Date catwalk? Anyway, with a super deep and intellectual question like that, I think it's a great closer of this episode. I have decided that I'll continue with Soul Reaper until I can buy another incomplete Hydrix. At the moment I have 144 Slayer points, so that means I need an additional 156. Will I be able to get enough points by next episode? And will I find time to finally complete that hard Tirannwn task set? You'll find out in the next episode. If you guys liked this episode, be sure to show it by pressing that thumbs up button. Subscribe if you want the answers to the previous questions, as soon as I give the answers. And finally, most importantly, I want to thank you all for watching. You guys are absolutely the best, and I hope to see all your awesomeness again in the next episodes.